How long has it been? How long has it been since I've done a live like this? Um, I'm even nervous to do this because it's been so long. I don't know. Gotta drink some water. Um, I'm streaming again on inside of the house. We're doing news. We're doing geopolitics. We're talking. This is horizontal. This is old school. My sister has gone back to the United States. I now am back in the room. This is the room she was sleeping in. I have been live streaming before she came from this room, and now I'm back to streaming from this room. And well, I hope to get the ball rolling again. This is something I want to do every Sunday morning or Saturday morning for you. And today we're going to be talking about quite a few news that came up, but the most important being that Donald Trump announced that he's going to be meeting with the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. So just let me know, first of all, if you could hear me. Please let me know if the sound is okay. Tell me also if the camera is working. You guys know that these lives are a little bit hectic. The sound goes off, the video goes off, but we try to do with what we can. So let me know if everything is all right. And before we continue, I want to announce that I forgot to use the membership giveaway for the last 2 months. And we're going to be doing the memberships giveaways again now that my sister's gone. And I'm not saying because of her I wasn't streaming. It was just not the appropriate time because this room was occupied. There was a lot of things I couldn't do. Hello to Denmark. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friends. As people start to trickle in, when we get to about 40 viewers or 50 viewers, we're going to be giving away the memberships. Remember, we have 10 memberships every month, and that allows you to use the emojis that we have here saved for the channel. Let me show you what they look like. And I have to update them, of course. I have had to do so many things that I have fallen behind on updating those. Hello from Tbilisi, Georgia. Really cool, Georgia. Not a lot of people watching from Georgia. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Let's see what we can do here. Hello from South Africa. Really nice to see South Africa. Got a few friends from South Africa. We'll start the show here soon. Yeah, if you guys are watching right now, let me know where you're watching from. If you come in with random hate, we'll have to just delete it. But we're not going to feed the trolls today because today we actually have quite a few things to talk about. I have a few things lined up, and I feel like talking about these subjects of why is it so easy to hate Russia. There's a genre on YouTube where it's just literally shitting on Russia, anything anti-Russia, from mappers to vloggers to geopolitics, people who do all sorts of things. They're all in the hate Russia sphere. And I'm going to be talking about those type of things today. But we're also going to be looking at like people who live in Russia and how they choose to show Russia. Another thing is, obviously, you guys know a ton of Russian content has been deleted. And we're going to be talking about that as well. Watching from Michigan, United States. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. I really appreciate when other Americans watch this because it feels like, you know, I'm not a lunatic. Oh, that's right. We did reach 90,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I think this channel is on a decline, but somehow we got to 90,000. And that's because of you guys keep supporting the channel by watching and liking. And videos like these that go live do very well, especially on the horizontal, on the vertical, because we have more people watching on the verticals. Thanks for all the channel members who support the channel. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, I'm going to try to give away those memberships now. It's going to be totally at random, but remember, the reason why we give out the memberships is so that people can enjoy the different emojis from the channel, and you can also put a highlighted message when you're a member. All of these things are updated from time to time. I put new emojis depending on what's happening, because you can see here I have the May 9th. We put that one up for the victory parade, and we also have thumbs up from the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Hello, my friends. Welcome. Good morning, by the way, for the people watching from the United States. I think it's morning there. Let's see. Hopefully the stream doesn't die off here. Let me try this. Okay. Please tell me if we're still here. I just have to get a little bit things moving here so we can give away these memberships. I think I'm just gonna do the full 10 to get it out of the way. Hallo auf Deutschland, aus Deutschland. It's to think Alaska was once Russia. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, we're gonna be talking about that in a few minutes, okay, guys? We're just doing this, trying to do this giveaway here. Remember, it's totally at random. It's not something that I can control. So congratulations to anybody who was gifted the membership. I think you have to have membership open for gifting. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. This way you can ride in on a bear. It's something like the alerts show whenever you subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to talk, when you subscribe, you ride in on a bear like Putin. So that's another cool thing. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and finish off these 5 memberships. Remember, we're doing 10 every month. YouTube lets me do 10 every month, and we're gonna give them away. I missed the last 2 months because of my sister being here for visits. There we go. And if you just received your membership, just make sure to reload the page if you think that you can't use the emojis yet. I think you just reload if you're a member, and then it'll let you use those emojis. Remember, those are the channel emojis that we have on the emoji section, which I have to update them, but they're there. Congratulations to all the people that got the members, and now let's get into the program. There you go. Rainer Braun already using the emojis. Really cool. Enjoy, my friend. So, first of all, let's go ahead and watch the... Let's look at the announcement from Trump, okay? That's the basis of this live, was to talk about the peace agreement that is supposed to come through Trump inviting President Putin to Alaska. We're gonna watch this clip as soon as we read this by William Nipper. Thank you so much. Hi, I just wanted to come in and say hello. Unfortunately, you will not be able to stay in the entire stream. I am learning Russian and I have to finish my domashke zadnie. Thanks for the donation. Um, the the truth is that these lives do go pretty long, and I don't expect people to watch them all, but it's a good opportunity to engage with the subscribers. And thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, your Russian homework. Study your Russian because I'm very bad at it. And if you come and visit Lake Baikal and you want to talk to the people, it would be good to learn your Russian. And if you don't know Russian, you'll still have me as a guide and we can just chill. But thanks, William, so much. With that, we're going to be starting this live off with the announcement by the President of the United States. And we're going to see what he had to say. Okay, guys? Now, keep in mind that because it's the United States and Russia, these type of news can go down south really fast. So whatever happens, it can just cease to exist the next day. You know, the geopolitics between these two countries is absolutely abysmal. William, thank you so much, man. Hello, Paolo and Victoria. Hello. Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Also, let me know if the sound is good. I have to change the microphone. Excuse me. Okay, we're gonna be watching this announcement. Oh my gosh, Ivan, welcome. We're gonna be watching this announcement, okay? And I have a whole segment ready for you guys. I honestly I put together an an arrangement of channels and topics. So I'm gonna try my best to stay in order. And if you have any questions, save them for the pauses. Okay, here we go.
I'll be meeting very shortly with President Putin. It would have been sooner, but I guess there's security arrangements that unfortunately people have to make. Otherwise, I'd do it much quicker. He would too. He'd like to meet as soon as possible. I agree with it. But we'll be announcing that very shortly. You're looking at territory that's been fought over for 3.5 years with, a lot of Russians have died, a lot of Ukrainians have died. So we're looking at that, but we're actually looking to get some back and some swapping. It's complicated. It's actually nothing easy. It's very complicated, but we're going to get some back. We're going to get some switched. There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both. And but we'll be talking about that either later or tomorrow or whatever. I'll be meeting very shortly with President Putin. It would have been sooner, but I guess there's security.
So now for me, and by the way, he later says that he's going to be meeting in Alaska. This microphone is weaker. I can put the volume up. Just let me know how everything is sounding, okay? To be honest, this meeting to me is it's a desperate attempt by the United States to try to get a ceasefire from the Russian Federation. As you guys know, it's been a war of attrition and it's been a grinding war against the Ukrainians. Obviously, the more populated country, the more military ready country is going to grind down that other country. And Ukraine is, I think, I've told you guys that it's about 2 major battles away from an unconditional surrender. Now, we're not going to get into military stuff, but we are going to be talking about what do I feel is going to come from this, because I've lived through 2022 mobilizations. I've lived in Russia through escalations. I've lived in Russia through the rearming of Ukraine with Abrams, with the damn F-16s and all of these different weapons. I've lived in Russia during this entire time. And every time that there's news like this, where it's like the United States wants to seek for peace, the United States wants to send weapons, it seems so weird that we're living in the same universe. Because I've lived, like I said, through the arming of Ukraine, through these offensives from both sides, through mobilizations through both sides. I've lived in Russia this entire time. And when news comes out where the presidents now want to meet, it's surreal for me. You have to understand, I've lived in this country um, through crazy events. I've been living in this country and I lived here long enough to see my region attacked by drones. Irkutsk Oblast, 50 miles away from where I live or where I've been. We used to talk about that the drones would never reach Irkutsk, and then randomly on my third year in Russia, drones attack 50 miles away, and it's just surreal, okay? So when I see these type of news, I don't really like it. I don't like it. For one, I don't like that he's gonna go to Alaska. This risks. There's so many things that can go wrong with the president of the Russian Federation stepping on American soil, because he'd have to be guaranteed absolute safety by the United States. And if something were to happen, it's just gonna be World War III and the end of the world. It doesn't seem like a right place to go. It's very interesting, Ivan. Like you can, the world is massive, and I feel like Alaska is not the place, guys. Um, but again, thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna be showing you what the anti-Russian channels are saying about this, and I want to bounce off of that. So we're going to continue now. We just saw the clip where the president of the United States, President Trump, is talking about meeting and switching lands with the Ukrainians and the Russians, and Russia had already claimed Donetsk, Lugansk, uh, Zaporozhia, and Kherson. So these are the four regions that have already been introduced into the Russian Federation. So let's look at one of the most anti-Russian channels out there, and let's see what he has to say about this. I'm gonna play a small clip from it, because I think it's very interesting to see the other side. What the I call them loonies, but let's see what they say. Yeah, it's something is definitely cooking, and I'm really nervous about it being in the right place. Here we go. So I'm gonna show you guys one of the most anti-Russian channels. And again, I'm not doing this because I want to promote them. I just want to show you so you see the hypocrisy on the other side and you see exactly what's going on. I don't usually watch these channels, but I had to do a little bit of a dive so that we can have a talking point on this episode, okay, guys? So excuse me for showing you things that you might not actually like. This guy is called Preston Stewart, and he seems like a freaking absolutely brainwashed American. Let's see what he has to say.
You can't call something a peace plan if it just leads to a larger war sometime down the road. And that's one of the major concerns right now as we see the path that the United States and Russia appear to be going down as they try to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine without Ukraine. On top of that, there appears to have been such a mix-up with Steve Witkoff in Moscow this week to where he may have offered...
By the way, is the sound okay? Is the sound okay? I only wanted to show a small clip of this because this is something that it kind of exposes the way these people think. So I want to know if the sound is okay. And again, if you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. All right, here we go. Let's rewind here. This is only 23 seconds, but he exposes the reality in about 10 seconds. Let's see this again.
You can't call something a peace plan if it just leads to a larger war sometime down the road. And that's one of the major concerns right now as we see the path that the United States and Russia appear to be going down as they try to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine without Ukraine.
There you go. So that was 15 seconds. Sorry. And that's what I'm trying to take away from this. So, yeah, Ukraine is not invited to a peace talk because it's not Ukraine's war. Ukraine has been fighting this war for the United States. And every time there's been a try for peace, if you notice, Ukraine has nothing to do with it because they are not the ones who are actually in charge. And it seems like these people don't make, like, it doesn't make sense to them. Yeah, Ukraine is not at the table because it's not Ukraine's war. It wasn't Ukraine's war from the beginning when that British freaking dude with the crazy hairdo went to Turkey and told them to continue fighting. And it's not their war now. They're going to keep fighting or stop fighting whenever the United States says to stop. So this is one of these guys that is just always spewing this crazy biased point of view. And this is something that I don't understand. If they complain about why is Ukraine not there, why is Ukraine not there every time there's supposed to be peace, doesn't it occur to them that maybe Ukraine has nothing to do with what happens? It's just it's food for thought. Now I'm gonna move on and show you another channel, and this one's a little bit more disgusting. I mean, I find these people and I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Let me just take a quick look here. That was Preston Stewart, and I have another one here we're not going to look at his videos. What we're going to look at is his damn channel, and just so you can see the titles. Okay, so let me know if you can see this. This guy's called Paul Wardberg. And please let me know if you can see the titles on these things, because why this is the kind of hate that is just allowed, the propaganda that's allowed. And we're going to be talking about other things like this and why I'm bringing this up. So YouTube wipes out thousands of propaganda channels linked to China and Russia. So the reason why I'm showing you these channels is, where do you go? There he is. So the reasons why I'm showing you these channels is because these would be considered like a damn propaganda channel. Look at these. Russia can't afford a second front. Russia's summer offensive is failing. Russia's morale is decay far worse than you think. Ukraine just humiliated Russia. Why Russia's next big war might be with China. That's ridiculous. Russia's military is being totally paralyzed. Russia's is quickly descending into anarchy. That was 12 days ago. This is just absolute lunacy, man. But this is the kind of stuff that you're going to find on YouTube. And this has hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. And you have to ask yourself, this has to be pushed by the platform. This is being pushed 100% by YouTube. And this is being pushed because they need this to be pushed to as many people as possible. I don't know who pays these people. Well, I mean, YouTube pays them with the views and all of that, but who's actually pushing these people to make this kind of content? It's absolutely scary for me to know that these people are pumping out YouTube videos. Meanwhile, those other guys that got deleted, let's go ahead and look at look at this. So as you guys know, we have the Real Reporter, who was recently deleted, and he got deleted with this news that you see here. YouTube wipes out thousands of propaganda channels linked to China and Russia and others. So Google removed nearly 11,000 YouTube channels and other accounts tied to state-linked propaganda campaigns from China, Russia, and more in the second quarter. So as we know, guys, the Real Reporter was deleted with this most recent deletion of channels. And so it just really makes the playing field, like, even if you're not paid and funded by these countries, your news, your type of channels, your type of information just really goes down the gutter because there's no more genre for it. And so today, apart from giving you guys the news that the president of the Russian Federation is supposed to travel to the United States to meet with the president of the United States, I wanted to talk about why this hate for Russia niche exists. Okay, it's an actual niche, and believe it or not, I have been curating for you guys a couple channels, and I've curated the kings of the hate Russia niche. Some of you guys may already know these channels, but I want to talk about them because it's important to kind of show just how easy it is to hate Russia in 2025. And we already know that the hate Russia campaign is really strong. And every time we get news like this, it just surges on these channels. It's like incredible. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start now by showing you guys. Well, let me take a break and drink some water. Well, I wouldn't say that hate for Russia is 100 years old. Okay, we need to stop pretending like Russia's been this Russia. Um, I know you Russians like your history, but this Russia is not the same as the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union is not the same as the Russian Empire. In fact, it was the Soviets who killed the Russian king and his family, right? So you can't say that kind of stuff. You need to think a little bit. But let's go ahead and show you a little bit of the stuff that I've curated for you.
Before I came to Ukraine.
Okay, here we go. Let me see. Okay, here we go. This is another channel. Now, I'm gonna be playing this because I'm gonna tell you about the information war and just how bad Russia is at it. I'm not saying Russia's the worst at informational war, but what I am saying is that people like me who come to Russia, we need to be careful with what we say and what we do on the internet. Not because of Russia, but because the other side will take it and really flip it around. Check this out, okay? Let me know if you could hear.
So I want to tell you the story of an American couple that moved to Russia.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are the Huffman family. We are the first official family living in the American village in the Moscow region.
Russian food, Russian food, Russian food, Russian food.
The Russian army is no joke. These guys are tough. You know, I signed up for this, and it's my honor to defend our new country. And we can get this victory.
They posted a video in the last couple of days begging for help because this woman's husband has been sent to the front lines through the Russian meat grinder without any training.
He was told he would not be training for 2 weeks and going straight to the front lines. They are going to put him on the front lines. So we are all praying really hard that he could actually be utilized for his skills and not just be put as a fighter.
And this happened literally 24 hours after another American woman who fled to Russia in 2019 was attacked for her race. She literally produced a film with Russia Today when she got to Moscow.
Why did I make up my mind to move to Russia? I wanted to leave a country where I was facing discrimination.
Saying she moved there for her safety because people of color were treated better in Russia. And what unites both of these people is that they were both lied to by Russia.
So what unites those two people is not the fact that he says that they were lied to. What unites those people is the fact that they aired their dirty laundry, okay? What happened is for the first family, that lady, the wife of that American who's volunteered to fight in the Russian military, should not even be speaking about his military service. Operational security is very important, and actually, this is what I'm talking about, where you have problems with the informational war. If that lady just doesn't speak and shuts the like her mouth about her husband's military contract and all of these things, then nothing gets aired out. It actually came out on the news everywhere. The entire West grabbed her video and started saying he was missing. He's been in the meat grinder. He's been sent to the front with no training. And I'm pretty sure maybe her video got taken down. Maybe she took the video down by herself. I don't know. We need to take accountability for ourselves. Westerners who come to Russia need to understand that there's a level of things that you need to keep to yourself. Not because Russia is making you keep it to yourself, but at least think a little bit, okay? Both of these ladies have aired their dirty laundry, and it's just getting used against the reality of Russia. And I have a problem with that. I think somebody from the government in the United States is watching all of us. All of the foreigners who live in Russia are being watched for sure. But if you live a normal life, and I make these videos just with common sense, right? I don't talk shit about the United States because I don't live there, but my family does, and it doesn't do anything to me. I don't talk shit about Russia because I live my life in peace. But when you start pushing the envelope on either side, you can get picked up by the other side, and then you end up on the news like the Huffman family. Now, I have nothing against the Huffman family, and I have nothing against foreigners recording in Russia. I just think that they need to be a little bit more careful with what they post, because a joke can be taken serious by the entire West. Yeah, so for Christ is saying that it makes her husband a target, definitely. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys, is that these things get blown out of proportion. She essentially gave away how long they trained her husband, and the like operational security, you can get so much from that. Just take this as an example. We know how long it takes for someone to sign a contract and get sent to the front lines, but he wasn't sent to the front lines. He was probably sent to a patrol base or a training camp in an area of operation. We also know that the amount of time it takes for them to have a phone and call back home, which is very important because in combat or in a war, for me at least, it was very controlled when you can communicate with home. So we know that there's communication between her and him. So if the enemy wanted to pinpoint anything, all they would have to do is hack her phone and find out where he is, and then like, you know what I'm saying? It's so bad that this woman is producing videos about her husband who's in the military. It doesn't make any sense to me. I hope that she learns to have a little bit of common sense. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because the hate that comes after people make videos like that is unreal. Her story went viral everywhere. Her husband was reported missing. Her husband was reported dead. So many things were happening, and it just seems like it's not clocking to her that she needs a little bit more operational security for herself and her husband, because she might get in trouble if she continues to do that stuff. Now I want to show you something else here. That was Colin Robertson. This guy seems to be absolutely propaganda. And I don't really understand why. So now it's time to show you guys. It's time to show these where is it? Here it is. Now it's time to show the the mega bosses, okay? This is I'm doing this, guys, because it's important. You guys already know these people, but these guys are the mega bosses of their genre. The hating Russia genre is real, but there's hating bosses to each subgroup, okay? And as we already know, it's the mega lord, mega demigod himself, this guy Dennis. So Dennis is a guy who produces very, I mean, I would even go as far as say this is a lot of racist content. Why? Because he makes his videos and he celebrates tragedies. He also puts a lot of crazy thumbnail names and like titles on his feed, and it's not a good thing, right? But let's admit that I think that YouTube absolutely allows these kind of people to exist because they need these type of people in every genre. So I will go back and we'll look at part of his video where he says update in Ukraine, because he does talk about the news where Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, will speak with President Trump. So let's go ahead and look at these other bosses. Now, this is another one that I consider a boss, like this sabbatical Tommy. And why do I call him a boss? Well, because he came to Russia and he is essentially the first guy to exploit. You can see here he has 101.9 million views. He came to Russia just to fake a story about being imprisoned. Now, I exposed him with my own video, but this is what I call the boss for travel hate Russia. Okay, this is a traveler who hates Russia and he makes content that's anti-Russian. And so we have the Dennis guy, who's a mapper hater of Russia, and this is Tommy. This guy is the traveler who hates Russia. Now, this one is no surprise. This is the Roman. This is the Russian who left Russia, who hates Russia. This is the other leader of his niche. And the problem with him is that the majority of his viewers saw him live in Russia and enjoy Russia, but now he exploits it. So this is the other mega boss. Now, I want to say this guy was so successful with hating Russia that he kind of did the blueprints of being a Russian and then leaving Russia and just shitting on Russia for a long time. And this gave birth to so many people. Like a lot of Russians started making content with a lot of hate towards Russia who were Russians themselves. And this is how you get these type of characters, where Sanctioned Ivan just he tried his best to follow the blueprints that that Roman NF, whatever the hell his name is, laid down. But Ivan kind of said, you know what, this is enough. And he kind of gave up. So these are the gatekeepers to those genres, and that's how the hate is so massive. All of these guys are in their own lanes, but they're united for their hate to Russia. Dennis has nothing to do with Tommy. Tommy has nothing to do with the NF, or whatever the hell his name is, Roman. And Roman has nothing to do with Ivan. But all of them are in the same niche. They all get clicks for the hate that they have for Russia. It's very interesting that they can exist on a platform that is not allowing hate, or I mean, I can't get away from making videos like the ones I'm making now without getting flagged. But it is what it is. And it brings me back to the article where, you know what, my friend, the real reporter, got deleted because he was giving news from his point of view, okay? He was sharing his uh his style of videos. And if you pay attention to what the Real Reporter, his most successful videos were, I think out of the top 5, I was in top 3. And nobody paid me to do anything with him. He didn't pay me. Sometimes I wish he did, because hell, those videos got a shit ton of views. But in the end, it was just good enough to tell my story, that we exist here in the shores of Lake Baikal. It is so lopsided. Now I'm gonna take about 5 minutes to answer some of your guys' questions. If you have any questions, um, no, Sabbatical was imprisoned, Ivan, and he went to jail here in Russia for going to a place where he wasn't supposed to without a passport. After being detained, he was told to leave and not come back, and he came back again, and that's when he got arrested. There's a whole video I made exposing his lies. Broke down really easily. Guy's a super liar. Now, first of all, thanks everybody who's still watching. Let's try to see. Let me see. Um, could we get, what the hell is this live? Do we have more than 250 likes? That's incredible. Thanks so much. That's way more than I thought. Yeah, I'll link you. 1 second. 1 second, inverted. 1 second. I said inverted, but inverter. I'll find it. I'll find it. I promise you. I'm gonna link you to my video, and you should be able to and then I'll link you to his, okay? That way you get to find it a lot easier. No, this is the link. Don't worry. I got the link for you. So Luis Peregrina says, do you think that your channel will be deleted as well? I do think that my channel will eventually be deleted, and I don't think that it's gonna be like a strike, another strike, and then I get deleted. I think it's just gonna get shut down. The Real Reporter was deleted without any explanation, so I don't think that I'm gonna get my explanation. I just hope that at least I get to 100,000 subscribers first. I hope that they're kind enough to let my channel exist until then. We just recently hit a 90,000. That's a huge milestone. And when the YouTube kind of slowed down in Russia, I lost a lot of subscribers there. It is what it is. I guess, I mean, I don't do I don't do taxes in Russia. I don't have my Russian residency. Hello from Britain. Hello. We're taking a little break here, guys. So you guys can ask me any questions. Feel free to ask anything. I'm gonna be running this live for maybe an hour and a half, so we have quite a bit of ways to go. This is my first live in a long time in this format, so excuse me. I know I'm very nervous, and I know that it's out of control. My brother, my Siberian hermano. William, thanks again for the donations, bro. That's so unfortunate, man. William says that unfortunately I have friends and family that tell me how ignorant I am for wanting to visit Russia. That's the problem with today's society, is that they already have an idea of what Russia is without ever have visited the place. It doesn't make any sense to me why people have this. Why, I know why it's there, right? We know people have been indoctrinated into this hate since the Cold War. And when the Cold War ended, Russia had to regain its confidence in world politics, and it had to watch out for itself, and it had to become a superpower all over again. We understand that, William. And but the sad part is that your family and friends will see you as an ignorant person if you don't follow what has been force fed their throats for decades. It's so bad, man. Thanks for the support, William. Thanks for sharing how life is for you. You know, a lot of people I know who have come and visited Russia, and then their family visits, they really it's not about two sides, guys. It's about being happy with yourself. In the end of the day, you have to visit a place if you want to visit, and you have to be happy with your choices. So I think that's where the problems come. The people who don't know Russia will hate it forever, and that's fine, but it's up to you. If you really want to visit Russia, just do it. You're not a bad person if you like it. It's like saying you should hate people who like chocolate ice cream. It doesn't make any sense. And you should never try to. Oh, by the way, Xenos, uh, our moderator there is giving you the knowledge that you were seeking. I don't know it because I haven't been here long enough, but my buddy has been. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and that's why he's here. And so I don't know. I just feel like I don't try to prove anything to anyone. That's why I don't make my videos titled "Is Russia scary? Is Russia poor? Is Russia racist?" I don't do that, right? I don't think we need to be making. I mean, I don't think I should be making videos trying to prove anything to anyone. I'll just show them with my daily life. I live here. My son will be born here in 2 months. Like, that's what I'm proud of. That's what I'm happy about. And sometimes when events like this happen, where the presidents are gonna meet, it affects my life directly. So I talk about these things. Yeah. Guys, go ahead and ask some questions. I miss answering questions. It feels like it's been a long time since I've taken an actual question from the viewers, and I don't know. I would be really happy to know that you guys still have some interesting questions and want my opinion on things. Yeah, my son's gonna be born in Irkutsk. I can't believe it. It's so crazy. My wife will be 30 weeks pregnant this Monday. Do put subscribe, and if you're not subscribed yet, remember, when you put subscribe, you write in on a bear with Vladimir Putin, which is really, really cool. So I'm just gonna wait here and see if anybody has any questions. For Christ says Russia is a very beautiful place. Cloudy on Baikal, light rain at night from 1 and thank you for the forecast. What's new in Irkutsk? Well, listen, Irkutsk has been doing a lot of beautification of the city. A lot of new roads are being rebuilt. A lot of things are being built around the city. A lot of new buildings and apartments. So it's known as the Paris of Siberia. If you want to know more about Irkutsk, I've made videos about it. It's a growing city, fast growing city. Do you get pension or something from being in the U.S. military? Are you? No, I don't have a pension from serving in the U.S. military. I only had an 8-year contract, by the way. Artem says, well, I didn't see. So yeah, if anybody has any more questions, go ahead. My name is Dan Castle. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran from the United States. I live in Irkutsk Oblast. I've lived here for more than 3 years now. I've lived through mobilizations. I've lived through escalations. I've lived through a lot. And My wife and I have a property here. We have a beautiful garden. We're expecting our first child very soon. Question: how popular is Medved? Medved? Jeez, I can't even say that name. Maybe write it in Russian. Medved, Medvedev. Maybe you mean Medvedev? I don't know how to read that in Latin letters. Compared to Putin in Russia. No, I think the president Vladimir Putin is by far the most beloved president and politician in Russia. Without even comparing it, there's no comparison. So is President Putin really going to Alaska? I hope he doesn't, in a way, because I'm a little bit scared that it can trigger something if the United States gets froggy. Are Russians racist and woke like Americans? There are racists in Russia, a lot of them. I mean, there's not one, and if there's more than one there, that means there's a lot, right? There are many woke Russians in the cities. The United States does a really good work of exporting its culture. There's a lot of woke Russians. Okay, let's be honest. This guy here is not the only one. Okay, this guy here is an entire genre of Russians. This is a woke Russian who hates Russia. There's hundreds and thousands of Russians that subscribe to him who hate Russia and are woke people just like him. And yes, our moderator posted the telegram to the Real Reporter. He tried to make a next, but it got deleted. Why don't you learn the Ukrainian emotional investment in? Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Does Russia have a surf scene? I wouldn't say that Russia has a surf scene. Even if they do surf in Kamchatka, I don't think that Russia is known for its surfers. So no, I would say no. And to be honest, I don't think that Russia has the greatest beaches for surfing. So that's why surfing is not really evolved here. Los felicito por tu bebé. Xenia se mira radiante and igual con cara de un teenager. So Gabby is saying congratulations for the baby and Xenia is looking beautiful. Have you purchased any Russian military surplus? Have I purchased anything from the surplus? No, I haven't. But I do have this Afghan hat that was given to me by Vsevolod in from Moscow. When will I get Russian citizenship? I don't even have Russian residency. Russian citizenship is not part of my plans right now because I plan on going to Mexico for over 6 months. And if I get residency, I can't keep it. So I'm not getting Russian citizenship anytime yet because Russia doesn't offer Russian citizenship easily to people who have been married and have a kid. Yeah, jet skis are awesome. So this is the only thing I have right now. Of course, I have my Gorka, that's military, but this is a really cool hat from the Afghanistan war era for the Soviet Union. If you don't know, this was given to me again by my friend Vsevolod from Moscow. My sister got home yesterday. My sister arrived to Los Angeles, and I've been thinking about making cooperation videos where she buys things at the store and I compare it with Russian prices. Now, a lot of the things that I grow in my garden, I will also be getting maybe 5 kilos of cucumbers and then seeing how much that would cost in the United States. I think it would be a very interesting video because a lot of people garden in the summer and I want to see how much money I'm saving. So my sister made it back to the United States. She's in Los Angeles now. Hello, Dan. Is the hat Mexican and the pin is Soviet? No, the hat is a Soviet era hat. Let me show you. I'll show you right now. It's called the Panamka, and it was used by the Soviet Union during the Afghanistan war, and it was something that was used by so many troops from many other countries. Here we go. Check it out. This is an actual hat from that era. Thank you for asking. I know it looks kind of Mexican, but I mean, I used something similar myself when I was in the Afghanistan war. All right, guys. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm gonna continue on the show and continue talking about my point of view on this conflict and everything that's been happening. Sorry to ask, but what do you live off then? I wonder. A lot of people want to know what people live off like. Now, I'm not offended when people ask me, but it's quite interesting. Why do people care about how other people live? Now, this is an interesting topic, I understand. So I will elaborate on how I make my money, how I keep my money, only so that you understand that maybe you want to know because you want to have your own style, like maybe you want to travel to Doris. So I'll tell you how I make the money. One, I had savings and I put it in the bank here in Russia. When I started saving in Russia, they would give more than 22% interest on the money that you put in the savings. So I was living merely on the savings for a long time. I also have a small business in Mexico, and I also make YouTube videos. So all of that income together is enough to support my life here in Russia right now. And yeah, that's how I make my living. What is your favorite Russian city that I visited? St. Petersburg is the most beautiful city in Europe and in Russia. Yeah, so Doris, I don't get offended. I do get curious as to why people want to know. So maybe next time, if you want to know in future, like if you ask someone else, you should say, how do you make their living? Because I want to know because of X, right? I think it's a little bit more appropriate that way, that you give the reason why you're asking. Because like when you talk about finances, something that's pretty personal for some people, and I'm not a secretive person. I tell people all the time. Did I try to teach English and Spanish? I did teach, but then I stopped because I got really busy. In the summers, I have no time to teach. Well, Ivan, I don't mind answering you any questions, my friend. I have a small cafe in Mexico. When I was there, I was operating it, and when I'm not there, it shuts off because I'm not there. But I was in Mexico for some time, and I worked it up, and I'm going to hopefully open up something here in Russia. This might be in about 2 years, but I'm letting you guys know it's in my plans to open up a restaurant in my town because there's so many holes in small towns. I love cooking, and I cook for a lot of my guests when they come. Many of my subscribers have eaten a lot of the food that I've cooked. And just so you know, I have to show you guys something. I think it's a personal topic for financials because when people ask how do you make your money, it kind of opens the door on what kind of business is there. But it's okay, don't worry. I don't find it rude. What I find a little bit strange is when you don't ask why. 1 second, I'll be right back. I have something very important to show you. Okay, so I have here, it's masa, and I'm gonna be experimenting on making tortillas. I'm gonna be making a tortilla machine that'll expedite the amount of tortillas I can make. And I'm not trying to open up a Mexican restaurant. I have another plan that I'm not going to say yet, but something that I do want to start making for my subscribers who visit me in Sliudanka is authentic tacos. I've already started making authentic quesadillas, and this is going to be a level up. I'm going to be making corn tortillas by hand. Gabby's asking me if I finished building my house. No, Gabby. De hecho, no voy a construir mi casa este año. Mi hijo va a nacer en octubre y estoy guardando todo mi dinero para comprar un apartamento. Aquí en Rusia vivir en apartamento es muy confortable porque en invierno el apartamento se calienta automáticamente con el agua que pasan por las pipas. En 2 o 3 años voy a empezar a invertir para construir una casa, pero por ahorita un apartamento sería perfecto. Yes, so Gabby's asking if I finished building my house, but I let Gabby know that my son is going to be born in October, so I need to buy an apartment instead. I'm saving up money to buy a nice apartment so that I can live in it, so that my friends can live in it when I'm not here. I want people to enjoy my town. I want people to enjoy Baikal. So I'm buying an apartment first. Excuse me. There's a lot of opportunities because in small towns or smaller cities, a lot of the things that you guys see in the West does not exist. Alexei, hello, welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. What are we at here? Let's see. I think the stream has been doing okay today. It's not it hasn't cut off like usual. You know, before we used to have so many problems with the stream. I'm very happy that it hasn't shut off. I had a hard time finding beans over there. Yeah, beans are very hard to find. Can people live off low job wages? So I'm gonna break it down. I've told you guys before how much I spend every month. My rent for this apartment, it's a 2 bedroom apartment, a bathroom and a kitchen. It's $180 now actually. I pay $180 a month for living in the apartment. I rent this place. I'm not buying it. $180 a month. I also pay $12 for 100 megabytes of internet or whatever the hell it's called, the speed. I pay about $5 a month for electricity, and I pay $10 for my phone bill. That's my expenses. Now, I've told you guys my expenses before. I actually used to pay $200, but I moved to another apartment. In the future, when I have my own apartment, I will be hosting many subscribers, I hope, and they will get the real life experience here. It's not expensive, but a lot of the people here do only make about $700 to $800 a month. You have to budget really well. I don't make a lot of money, but I budget really, really well. I don't spend a lot on myself. This shirt is very old. I try to spend only on my wife and my son. Ay. Luis says, ¿has visitado alguna de las regiones rusas Cáucaso? No, so Luis is asking if I visited any place in the Caucasus. I have not visited any place, but I want to go to Dagestan because my son is going to be born in October. When he's about 5, I'm going to send him to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years and forget. Okay? I am having a son. He will be born in October. I'm going to be sending him to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years and forget. Maybe one phone call every 6 months. So yes, I've been saving a lot of money, and a lot of you guys have donated, and all that money is just goes into savings. My ex-wife and best friend is Colombian, and my most favorite food is the arepa. I have to buy Doña Arepa white cornmeal almost every month on Amazon. That's hilarious. By the way, guys, that's just a joke about sending my son to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years and forget. And yes, I don't really have anything in life. I enjoy the simple things, yeah. This is why I don't think you'll see me with luxuries and stuff. I don't know. I just honestly, the people who know me in real life know I'm not that kind of person, right? I'm very humble, and I think what Russia offers is that if I wanted to, I could have luxuries. But if you are a humble person, if you build up slowly, it's just that's what makes Russia so amazing is that you can start off from nothing. I had nothing in Russia, and then 2 years after, my wife and I, we bought a plot of land. And then maybe three, and now in our third year, we're gonna have a son, and with the help of the government, we might be able to buy our own apartment, and it just levels up. This is something that I couldn't have done in the United States. And I say that because I'm from California. I didn't choose to be born in California. My brother, who makes so much money and still doesn't have a house of his own. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, my favorite hobby is fishing. I love fishing. I haven't done a lot of fishing this year. I've done more gardening than fishing, so it's between gardening and fishing. Yes, for me, I do definitely see Baikal as a luxury now. I've been in the lake so often this year that it's crazy. I mean, look at just how much I've tanned. But I feel like with this channel, I've been able to show a part of Russia that a lot of people don't even know. Like, okay, we already know new channels are popping up all the time, but Irkutsk is so special, guys. Believe me. I wish that my subscribers could just come and visit Baikal and you would understand it's so liberating. I've invited a lot of you guys personally. I've told Ivan, who's in the chat, I've said, come, please come and visit, man, because this place really helps your soul cleanse itself. I've offered many subscribers, and at least 20 have come to Irkutsk Oblast, and they've came to see the lake. I've taken them ice fishing in the winter. I've taken them swimming in the summer. I've taken them to drink water, pure water from the mountains, and I've taken them to my plot. Like, something about this place really fixes people's hearts and their minds. It's an interesting thing. It's like a phenomenon. It's unlike anywhere else. Of course, you could go to Moscow and you can feel the streets and the buildings and all of that, but you need to purify your heart here in Siberia. That's how it works. Now, I want to give a big shout out to my hermano who's still awake with me. We've got a special place in this world. Listen, my doors will always be open for you. You know it, brother. Um, we have a special place here in Irkutsk. It's such a little corner of the world. Um, you don't have to come and live to Russia, right? I think that Russia is not the best place to live. If you're already comfortable somewhere, it's not a new place to move to. And I'll be honest, because if you're already comfortable somewhere, it takes a pretty long time to get comfortable in Russia because you have to find your own way. But it is the best place to visit. I have absolutely I've come to the conclusion that Russia has anything that any other country has, like in Europe, put together. So it's not a good place to move to randomly. You see a lot of problems, like people just randomly come and move here and they're just going crazy, but it's a perfect place to visit. So I'm the same way. I've never been materialistic, says G-Man. I live on Social Security and I had to leave the US because the prices were ridiculous. Well, look, I'm so happy that you left because you're not supposed to stay where you're not happy. A lot of people think that you're just like, even if you're not happy somewhere, do yourself a favor and go somewhere else. And you're not a traitor, you're not a bad person. It's just how it works. Gabby in English this time says, "You guys have more money in Russia. In the US, we spend on rent, food, and gas." Yeah, so that's how it works. Russians might make less money, but they spend less because their expenses are much lower. I've already made calculations that Russians have more spending power at the end of the month. An average working Russian has more money to spend on the end of the month after bills. Yeah, I feel like if you do end up moving to Russia, you do feel accomplished. I am proud of what I've done here, but I don't promote moving to Russia. I just promote visiting Russia because then you'll know what you want to do. It's so hard to tell someone to move to a new place, but if you tell them to visit, it really kind of puts their toes in the water. Now, we've been streaming for over an hour. I want to say again, thanks to the people who are with us still. The live has gotten quite a few. I wasn't expecting so many likes. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Off topic, can you show your knives? I'm interested. I don't have knives. I don't have any knives here. I mean, I have one. 1 second. I don't have knives at home. This is my wife's knife. This is my wife's knife, but I don't have mine at home. Mine is outside. It was given to me by Survival Russia. I keep it in our cabin over there in our dacha because I light fires with it and I do things around. But this is the only knife that we have that's metal here. Yeah, living in the United States has turned into survival mode. I have only one knife, and it was given to me by Survival Russia. Saul, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Eric says, I just woke up after 23 hours of work. Holy crap. I don't know what this is. Thank you, Saul. Saul, make sure you ask a question, all right? I would love to answer a question from you. 1 second, I'm going to show you. Here we go. This is Survival Russia. My knife that I used to light my fires and go out into the wilderness was given to me by Lars from Survival Russia. He's a great guy. He's like an OG from the YouTube sphere and immigrant in Russia. He's from Denmark. Super awesome guy. Hello, Masha. Привет. Здравствуйте, Masha. Привет, Masha. Only citizens can own guns. That's right. You know, I feel like with so many new channels popping up, I want to make an episode just dedicated to showing you guys other channels because today was kind of the negative ones. It was just the evil people, the people who hate Russia. But I don't gatekeep. I don't care if you guys watch other videos, other channels. And I think in the future, I'm gonna be showing you guys the different genres of the YouTube sphere for the people, the immigrants, and also Russians who make videos inside of Russia. Oh my gosh, Saul. So yes, do get your Mexican citizenship as soon as possible. Now, if you need any information on that, I'm going to give you a brief explanation if you don't know anything yet, Saul. I'm so glad that you talked about that. If you want Mexican citizenship, all you need is your mom's birth certificate or your dad's birth certificate. And you need to know, well, if you have both your father and your mother's birth certificate, if they were born in Mexico or one was born in Mexico, you're guaranteed to be able to get Mexican citizenship. Now, the paperwork is not so difficult. All you need is the apostilled birth certificate from either parent or both, and you can do this kind of paperwork depending on where you are in the United States, in any major city where there's a Mexican embassy or consulate. It's not so hard. Just look it up. Please do it as soon as possible. The Mexican passport is very strong right now. Yeah, a lot of people who come from the West, especially the United States, they want to own guns, but it's kind of different here in Russia. Guns are mostly for sport. They're not for like school shootings or, I don't know, shooting at the cops. And I'm not saying that sarcastically, but like guns in the United States are usually used against fellow man. And that's not the culture in Russia. And I'm not saying that I feel bad for what happens in the United States, but a gun in the United States, there's so much crime where it's used against your fellow man that it's horrible. And the people who want to own guns don't understand that when they come to Russia, they can't own them because they're not citizens. It's the same in the United States. You're not allowed to own guns in the United States if you're not a citizen. So it's so weird when they ask, well, why can't I own guns? Why can't I bring my guns? You're not a damn citizen, smartass. It's the same in the United States. Well, thanks again, guys. I'm gonna try and log off of this. It was an awesome live. This was the first live that I've done. We're almost at 300 likes. Please consider putting like. We're almost at 300. I did this live to get myself back on that bike. It's been a long time since I've done this style of live with the show. I hope that you were entertained. I know it was a little bit choppy. I hope I get better at doing this. I do these type of lives because I think it's important to contact you guys directly, and I love showing you guys current events and giving you guys my opinion in real time. One more like for 300. Thank you so much. Thanks for the donations. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, by the way. If you've been watching this entire time, just hit subscribe. It'll notify you in the future if we have these types of lives. If this is the type of content that you like, I'm going to be doing these things again. This was my usual style of live during this time in the mornings for the West. And I do morning lives vertically in the mornings for my time. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys on the next one.